Hi everybody. I'll be starting here in about a minute. I'm just going to wait till 10 o'clock. I just wanted to get on a little bit early today. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's snowing here in Edmonton. I hope you had a great Halloween evening. Lots of funky costumes coming around the door yesterday. Now we're going to start Help Me Communicate this week, where I give you tips on becoming a better communicator. Today's topic is all about planning that crucial conversation. And why do we want to plan a crucial conversation? Well, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People starts with begin with the end in mind. Simply put, begin with the end in mind means plan, and have a vision for what you want to happen. Well, nobody builds a building or a bridge without having a set of blueprints or a plan to build that item that they want to build. No business gets a loan from a bank without having a business plan and a operations plan to show them that they're viable. If we want to succeed, it's important to plan what we want to happen. The same thing goes on a micro level with things like a crucial or a very difficult conversation. If we want to get the outcome that we want, it's a really good idea to plan out that conversation. So I'm going to give you 10 steps today, and they're very simple steps that you can follow to plan for your next difficult conversation when it comes up, or crucial conversation. The first step in planning any conversation is to have a clear understanding of people's basic human needs and wants. And I'm going to share 4 of them that I posted earlier today, a full list of basic human needs and wants from the Center for Nonviolent Communications. The list is posted below this video here. And the ones I want you to keep in mind when planning for a crucial conversation is keep in mind that people have a basic need for honesty and authenticity. And the plan I'm going to give you to follow here allows for that honesty and authenticity. The other thing that people want is people have a basic need to be heard, to matter. They have a basic need for acceptance and to be understood. And this plan allows for you taking into account the other person's basic needs of need to be accepted or need to be understood. People have a need for hope and harmony. So this plan takes into account both your need for hope and the other person's need for hope and harmony. And so that's the first step, is to have a clear understanding of what basic human needs are going into the conversation. Remember that people have a need to be understood, to be accepted, to be validated. The second step is to list down what you witnessed about the topic that you are having this crucial conversation about. So what did you see or hear? What did you witness? Write that down in I statements. I saw this happen. I heard these words. Step 2 is to write down what you thought about those, what you witnessed, what you saw, or what you heard. When I saw this, or when I heard these words, this was my thought pattern, and write it down. Step 3 is to write down what you felt. How did you feel about what you witnessed, what you heard, and what you saw, and write it down. The next step, step 5, is to write down what you want, the intentions. So your first 5 steps are basically understanding human needs of people, yourself and the other person, writing down what you witnessed. Basically, I'm getting you to write down the HIP, the human interaction process, what you witnessed, what you saw or heard, what you thought about it, what you felt about it, what you want to come out of that. Have that written down. That's the first 5 steps. Then this next step, the 6th step, is to write down what you think the other person heard or saw. And remember, at this point, you're only writing what you think, because even though 2 people might see the same thing or hear the same words, they might hear it differently, or they might misinterpret a word or hear a word differently. And so when I ask you to write down what you think the other person saw or heard, that's what you're doing. It's a guess at this point. Write down what you think they thought about what they saw and heard. Write down what you think they feel about what they saw and heard, and write down what you think they want. So what I've asked you to do is prepare yourself for your human, and write down what your human interaction process is. And I want you to write it in I statements. When you're writing down your thoughts, I thought this. When you're writing down your feelings, I felt angry, I felt frustrated. And remember, 2 weeks ago, I talked about how to share and express feelings and emotions accurately. And we do that in 2 and 3 word sentences using I statements. I felt angry, I felt frustrated, I felt worried. But write it in 2 and 3 word sentence and avoid using like and that. After you've written down those things and you've written down what you've thought, felt, wanted from what you witnessed, and what you wrote down what you think the other person thought, felt, wanted from what they witnessed, the next step is to write down the 4 questions. And you take this sheet of paper in. You can get all this stuff on one sheet of paper. Take this sheet of paper into the conversation with you, so you have a reference and you can make sure you cover all these points. The next step is to write down these 4 questions. And remember to ask the other person. And here you're clarifying what you wrote down in step 6. Step 7 is to write 4 questions. What did you see and hear? What did you think about what you saw or heard? What did you feel about what you saw or heard? And what do you want to come out of this? So you're going to ask about the other person's HIP process in this conversation, and that takes into account every person's need for being understood, being accepted, and mattering. And when you ask them these questions, they feel like they matter. They feel more engaged. So write down those 4 questions, and that's on your cheat sheet as you go into this conversation. Step 8, now you've got this whole conversation planned out. Step 8 is to mastermind this plan with somebody that you trust as a good communicator. So show them the plan. Show them what you wrote down, what you witnessed, what you thought, what you felt, what you intended, what you think the other person's witnessed, thought, felt, and intended. Write down those 4 questions. Show that to the person you're masterminding with, your communications coach, or a mastermind team member that also has the desire to improve on communications, or a mentor you're sharing this with. And practice expressing what you wrote down. Get some feedback from the person that you're masterminding and getting mentored from. How was your body tone? How was your facial expression? How was your voice tone and body language? Ask them for that feedback. When we get feedback from other people and we make ourselves accountable to other people, we are typically much more likely to succeed. We know that when we make ourselves accountable to other people, we have a much higher success rate. It's been proven in different studies. So make yourself accountable to your mastermind partner or your mentor. Share this plan with them. And then step 9 is when you go into the conversation, so that's your plan. You've got it all on one sheet of paper. Step 9, when you go into the conversation, state your intention. State the fact that you've got this plan and that you're going to explore each other's human interaction process. State that and be prepared to, the step 10 is to be prepared to share your HIP process and ask about the other person's HIP process as you go through the conversation and things adjust. When somebody says something, that might change how I'm thinking or feeling. So just go back into following the process. What I heard you say was this. When I heard you say that just a minute ago, this is where my thought pattern went, and here's how I felt, and here's what I want to happen now. And as you share things, check in and see how the other person is responding to what you just shared. So you go back and forth sharing this process. That's how you plan a crucial or difficult conversation. 10 steps. 1, keep in mind basic human needs. 2, write down what you witnessed. 3, write down what you thought. 4, write down what you felt. All these in I statements. 5, write down what your intention is. 6, write down what you think the other person thought, felt, intended, and witnessed. 7, write down the 4 questions. What did you hear? What did you see? What did you think about that? How do you feel about that? What did you see and hear is the first question. It's not 2 questions. And what do you want? 4 or 8 is mastermind the process. 9, begin the conversation with the end in mind, and guide the conversation. Go into the conversation explaining that you're going to follow this human interaction exploration process. And 10, as you're in the conversation, Be prepared to share and explore each other's hip as it shifts and evolves through the conversation. And remember, each person's human interaction process is as unique as their DNA. And we all process a little bit differently to the same interactions. And if we don't ask about that, then we are negating the other person and not validating that. If we don't share our own, we're negating and not validating ourselves. So that's the 10 steps for planning a crucial or difficult conversation. I hope those help. Like I said below, I've posted a needs list. I will post this short 10-step list after this video on the Facebook page here. All these things are also posted at the blog at successtoolchest.com. Just go to successtoolchest.com and click on blog, and you can access all of these videos from series 1 and these little notes and handouts that I'm sharing with you. I said today that I would share with you 5 bonus questions. And the 5 bonus questions, 5 questions that I'm going to share with you today are about how to coach yourself and others and help me communicate. I always have a little segment on how to communicate with ourselves, and a segment that also relates to business and coaching other people. And these 5 questions relate to both of those things, coaching and self-talk, as well as coaching other people. And I learned these when I was in the cellular phone industry, and I owned some stores. And a group of guys came out from Toronto, and they were training us on how to train salespeople. Now remember, this was the late 80s and early 90s. Cell phones were a couple $1,000s and bills were $500. The market was basically business people and rich people. And so it took a high-end business-to-business salesperson to sell these products. They needed training, and there was a process that we went through. And so when we were training using this method, we found it extremely effective. And the guys that came out from Eastern Canada told us that they took a green person in Ontario and a seasoned business-to-business professional in Ontario, and they compared their results. Now, the seasoned guy, they didn't coach. The brand new guy, they coached. And they had him call a coach after every sales call or sales interview that person made. They found that after the first month of calling, after every sales call, this guy got so good at sales that he excelled to the top 10 in the province. Just after 1 month, and he was a green salesperson, 1 month of being coached using this method. So you can coach yourself using this method, and I've done it for myself, or we can coach other people by asking these 5 questions. And these 5 questions can be relate to any type of coaching conversation. I use the same questions for coaching people on being good communicators. I use the same questions for coaching people on coaching others. I use the same questions for coaching people on being a good salesperson. And they are this. The first question is, if I'm coaching myself, what did I do that has a positive effect on the coaching interaction? Or what did I do that had a positive effect on the sales interview? Or what did I do that had a positive effect on this communications interaction? Either one of those situations I can use this question for. What did I do that had a positive effect? Or what did you do that had a positive effect if I'm coaching somebody else? The second question is, what did I do that had a negative effect? And we all do positive and negative things in different situations. And sometimes everything's positive, sometimes everything's negative. But it's important to ask these 2 questions and look at both sides of the equation when we're coaching ourselves on a process that we're wanting to improve on. What did I do that had a positive effect? What did I do that had a negative effect? The next 2 questions are about what happened outside of our control. What did I do what happened outside of my control that had a positive effect on this sales interview or this coaching interaction or this communications interaction? What happened outside my control that had a positive effect? And that might be, somebody phoned and ordered some stuff for me right when I was there, and it made the guy want to buy as well. Or somebody walked in and said, you got to listen to Mike, he's a great coach. Or all kinds of things can happen outside of our control that will have a positive effect. All kinds of things can happen outside of our control that would have a negative effect. That's the 4th question. What happened outside of my control that had a negative effect on the interaction? What happened outside of your control that had a negative effect on the interaction? And those can be things like somebody interrupted us and we had to end the meeting short. Or a lightning bolt struck and scared the heck out of everybody and took the power out. All kinds of things that can happen to have a negative effect on a situation. So That's the fourth question. The fifth and final question is, what can I do better next time? Or what can you do better next time? Those 5 questions, if we ask ourselves after every interaction that we have in relation to our goal. So if I'm trying to improve my sales skills, after every sales call, ask myself those 5 questions, or report on those 5 questions to my sales manager, I will become a better communicator. When we make ourselves, or a better salesperson, or a better communicator, depending on what the situation that I'm trying to improve is, when we make ourselves accountable to other people, we achieve our goals quicker. And by asking ourselves, what could I do better next time, puts in our minds what we can do better next time. And it's like beginning with the end in mind again. It's having a vision for what we're going to do. So 5 questions quickly. What did I do that had a positive effect? What did I do that had a negative effect? What happened outside my control that had a positive effect? What happened outside my control that had a negative effect? And what could I do better next time? I'll post those 5 questions here underneath this live post as well. That's my help me communicate this week. Communicate with yourself by coaching yourself in those items that you're wanting to improve on, and follow the 10-step plan for planning your difficult and crucial conversations, and take that plan into the conversation with you. Use a mastermind team or a mentor or a coach to help you on your initiatives, whatever they are, and particularly on your initiatives for becoming a great communicator. All of these things are also posted at our blog at successtoolchest.com. To get the free download, whether you want the video format or the PDF format, you can get that at successtoolchest.com on the HIP, Effective Communications Awareness Tool. You can get that HIP process and have it on your own computer, or watch it and get a clear understanding of how that works for people anytime. That's free at Success Tool Chest. The other thing that's free at Success Tool, or not free, but that's available at Success Tool Chest, is the 5-hour online video training, communications and masterminding program. And that's there to help you become a great communicator. I'll give you support. It's only $89 right now. That's cheaper than the price of a hockey game or a good fight on pay-per-view. And I believe that our communications are worth $89. Do you believe that? I hope so. So all of that available at successtoolchest.com. Remember, findamentor.com is free. Please be a mentor in that area of life, aspect of life that you're very good at. There's over 1,900 categories where you could be a mentor to somebody in an aspect of life that you're very good at. And if you're looking for a mentor, it's free at findamentor.com. You can look for a mentor for free. And go out and make it an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends to come watch us. Please like our page and our videos. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Go out and make it an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.